Do you regularly feel as though you're tying yourself in knots trying to decide exactly how much you should be charging for your product or your service? And do you find that you're often second guessing yourself about whether you should put your prices up, whether this is the right time to do it, whether you'll alienate everybody if you increase your prices? So actually you end up in this kind of spiral of confusion and overwhelm and probably just take no action as a result of it. Well, I actually think that pricing is probably one of the most emotional and most challenging areas of any business. There is actually so much emotion linked to pricing, so many questions about our worth, our perception, our value, all sorts of things that kind of come into play and can really make it tough for us to make objective decisions about it. And I think this year, more so than ever, there have been so many questions about whether it makes sense right now to put prices up. Is it the right thing to do for your business? Is it inconsiderate towards customers who might be struggling? There really is this whole conundrum of emotion and questions going on this year more than ever, I think. So I just wanted to share some tips and advice on how to get your price right at this moment in time. And the first crucial thing to bear in mind is to make sure that you constantly have a really clear picture of how much it costs to run your business and how much it specifically costs to deliver your product or your service. And if your own costs are increasing, whether that's due to suppliers increasing their costs, whether it is due to the fact that you're building your team, building your business, and as you build a business, that naturally creates more cost as well. But if there are more costs coming to you, then that really has to be passed on as a price increase to your customers. Otherwise, your business is actually going backwards. So your first step is to make sure that you've got that real financial clarity. So you're making your decisions from an informed position, not just from an emotional gut instinct position. So that's step one. Step two is when you're really clear about that. I can't go into here exactly how to choose your price because that's about a 3-day workshop, let's be honest. But when you reach that point where you know in your heart of hearts that it's time to increase your price, there are a couple of things you can do that will make that whole thing a little bit easier for you and a bit less stressful. The first one is to increase prices for new customers first, because they don't have that same existing relationship with you. You don't have to have that slightly awkward or uncomfortable conversation about why your price is changing. You're in a whole new kind of transaction with a new customer. So at that point, it's very easy for you to increase prices for new customers and you don't get any of those questions about why the price has gone up. So that's your easiest place to start. The other thing to think about is if you're in that place of really knowing that you're not charging enough, but you're worried, and you're worried either that a price increase will alienate all your customers or lose you lots of customers, or just fall flat on its face, then one of the easiest things you can do is to actually nudge your price up incrementally. So it might just be that I don't know, it depends what your price is, but you increase your price by 50 quid or 5 quid or whatever is the right figure for you for each new customer. So you don't necessarily go the whole hog. So let's say that you thought you should be increasing your price by £200, but that feels really scary. Then increase it by £50 for the next customer and £50 for the one after. You might even go down the road of saying, well, for every 3 customers, I'll increase it by £50. And that gives you the opportunity then to test the market a little bit, to see what that feedback is, to build your own confidence as you go as well. Because one thing you have to watch out for is if you try and jump your price quickly, if you listen to all the people online that are constantly telling you to charge what you're worth and hike up your prices, but if you, in your heart of hearts, just don't feel confident about a new price, that will come across in your conversation or your messaging with a new potential customer. And if they sense any uncertainty from you about the price, they will read that as your uncertainty about being able to deliver, and it will probably lose you the customer. So you can get past that fear of a price increase by making it a small increase and doing it incrementally. So don't just make one small increase and then stop. do keep nudging it and set parameters for that. So is it every single customer, for every 3 customers, every 5 customers, something like that. But set that down in stone so you take all that emotional element away from it. And just by those couple of key steps, you can take away the sort of fear and trepidation and all that worry that quite often comes with a price increase, even though you know you're probably undercharging at the moment. So I hope that that has been useful for you. Would love to hear back from you about how you think this relates to you. Obviously, please feel free to like and to subscribe to the YouTube channel to get all these videos on there. And of course, please feel free to share this with anybody else you think could benefit. Thank you, folks.